Hey everyone, and welcome. You ever really stop and think about how you and your computer actually talk to each other? I mean, it's this constant back and forth, a conversation we're having all day, every day. So today, we're going to break down exactly how that dialogue really works. So let's just start with this really simple question. You want to open a file, right? Or play a song, or shoot off an email. How do you actually tell your computer to do that? And maybe even more importantly, how does it let you know, hey, I got it, and here's what you asked for? You know, it all boils down to this one simple idea. It's a two-way street. You talk, and the computer listens. That's what we call input. Then, the computer does its thing and talks back to you with the results. And yep, you guessed it, that's output. Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to start with your side of the conversation. This whole section is about how we speak to the computer, how we give it all of our instructions. These are the tools for your input. So, what in the world is an input device? Well, it's pretty simple. It's any piece of hardware, anything you can physically touch or speak into that sends information to the computer. Think of it as your personal bridge from our world into the digital one.
And for most of us, the most natural, intuitive input device has got to be the mouse. It's how we point, how we click, how we move around that visual world on our screen. It basically turns our hand movements into direct commands.
And if you think about it, these three functions are like a whole language. The left click, that's your direct command. It's you saying, open this or select that. The right click is a little different. It's more like asking a question. Okay, what are my options here? And the scroll wheel, that's just pure navigation, letting you say, hey, show me what's down the page. And here's a cool piece of trivia for you. This incredibly simple tool was invented by a total visionary named Douglas Engelbart. I mean, before the mouse, you often had to type these long, complicated command lines. His invention just completely revolutionized everything by making computers visual and direct. All right, so let's switch gears from pointing to typing. The keyboard, well, that's the workhorse for our text-based conversations. It lets us write out everything from a quick search to an entire novel.
You're probably looking at one right now. A standard keyboard has about 104 keys. It's so easy to just take that for granted, but every single one of those keys is a unique instruction, a letter, a number, a command, giving us this huge vocabulary to tell the computer exactly what we want.
And for our second bit of trivia, that keyboard layout we all use, the QWERTY layout, is mostly credited to an inventor named Christopher Sholes. And get this, he designed it way back in the 1870s for typewriters. And it's just stuck around ever since. Kind of amazing, right? But of course, we don't just point and type anymore. A scanner, for example, takes a physical picture or a document and zaps it into the computer as digital input. And a microphone? Well, it does the exact same thing, but for our voice, capturing sound and sending it right into the machine. Okay, so we've spoken to the computer with all our input devices. Now it's time to flip the script. How does the computer talk back? This part is all about the output. So an output device is basically the computer's voice. It's any piece of hardware it uses to show you the results of your commands, whether you see it, hear it, or even feel it. And the most common way we get that reply is visually, right? It comes straight from our monitor. The monitor is the computer's canvas, where it paints a picture of everything we asked for. So, every time you see a window pop up, or a video starts playing, or words just appear as you type, that's the monitor. That's output, delivered directly to your eyes. It's the #1 way the computer shows you it's actually listening. But you know what? What if you need that reply in the real world? What if you need something you can actually hold in your hand? Well, that's where the printer comes in, turning that digital output into a physical object. Printers create what we call a hard copy, and that's a really big deal. It's the main way that output can jump from the digital world back into our physical one, giving you something real you can hold, or sign, or share. But this whole conversation isn't just visual or physical. To actually hear the computer's reply, whether it's music, a little notification chime, or a voice on a call, you're going to need speakers. So how does that work? Well, speakers take a purely digital signal from inside the computer and translate it into actual physical sound waves. The music, the alerts, the voices we hear every day. It's the computer's way of literally speaking to us. So there you have it. We've covered how we talk to the computer and how it talks back. Let's just take a second and bring it all together to summarize this entire conversation loop. Okay, so the single most important thing to remember is this. Input is you giving instructions to the machine. Output is you getting results from the machine. You click, you type, you speak.
It displays, it prints, it plays a sound. It's a perfect continuous circle of communication.
And that kind of brings us to one last thought. We've gone from typing complex commands to just clicking, and now to just speaking. So what's next? As technology keeps getting smarter, how is this fundamental conversation between us and our machines going to change? What will input and output even look like in the years to come?